Alright, Steve-O here, trying to do a little review on some equipment, and what I got here, review, or just kind of going over what I use constantly, is my modified Nessmuk trio. I use this for hunting, camping, trapping. These three tools are with me all the time, just like the Nessmuk book, Woodcraft and Camping. I'll go over these a little bit, but I just kind of want to put it out there that these are always with me. Aside from like small day hikes, these three are with me all the time. And I'll just get started smallest to largest there. Starting here all the way on my left is case 2-bladed pocket knife. This is the case standard trapper size, amber handles. Really, this knife is pretty close to what Nessmuk wrote about. It's dual blades. This one's stainless. You can't start fire with this off of a rod, but it's not really its purpose. That's what we have the bigger knife for. This one's mainly for skinning and small cutting tasks, things of that nature. Things that I don't need a large knife for, things that need finesse. And pretty much I do separate the blades. This blade, the clip point blade, is strictly for skinning. The larger round nose blade is camp cutting, rope, different kind of cutting chores that don't need a big knife but need more finesse. And it excels extremely well. These case brand knives stay extremely sharp. They're made in the U.S. Great steel. They're just phenomenal. They're worth every penny. They usually are pretty expensive right out of the box, but you make that up very quickly with how durable and how well made these are. Moving on, this is my fixed blade large knife that I carry all the time. This is a World War II Cattaraugus 225Q. I don't know if you can see it on there. It's just Cattaraugus 225Q. This is a quartermaster's knife. And it is a very good knife. It's super sharp, stays super sharp, holds an edge well, is extremely thick. You can see there. This thing is close to a 1/4 inch thick. It's huge for a camping knife. It's got a good clip point, stacked leather handle, hard metal bottom. This thing, really, this thing could substitute the hatchet, but is a good partnership because this thing will absolutely drive in stakes great with that bottom. And from what I've read, the little that I've read about these, that's what it was for pounding nails back into crates. And this wasn't issued to all the soldiers. This was like engineers and quartermasters and things of that nature received these because they were a better knife, basically. And I picked this up used. You really can't buy these new. You can buy the K-Bar fighting knives new, so people enjoy those for survival, but I like this one a lot better than some of the K-Bars that I've seen and messed with. This one actually feels more balanced, and it's a real nice knife. But I picked this up used for $30. It came without a sheath. The sheath here is just a cheap sheath I picked up off eBay. Actually, was not anything special, just a standard belt sheath with a snap to hold your knife in place so it doesn't fall out on the trail. It works really well. There's nothing fancy. It's, you know, will it last forever? Probably not. It was really kind of inexpensive, but it should last for a long time if you take care of it. But the knife itself is going to last forever. It's already lasted basically an entire lifetime, going on 50 years. Actually going on 60 years. This particular one is just really nice knife, and really you don't need anything to do to it besides sharpen these and go to make them a survival knife. Because like I said, it's super thick, holds an edge well, and the handle, I really like the stacked leather handles. I think they grip well. Really, to me, better than wood or bone. You get a better grip. As you can see, it kind of a little bit of wear and tear where they didn't keep it moist, keep it oiled down. Kind of started to chip away, leather dried out a little bit in spots. But I keep oil on it as much as I can, which is pretty often. Usually a couple times a week. A couple times a week they get oiled. So if I'm using them a lot, and this one will do any chore I need to around camp. These two, the two knives, are really not much of a variant off of the Nessmuk style. This one's a little larger than his, but it's just comfortable to me. This is pretty much what he had in mind. I believe the Nessmuk actually had one blade on this side and one blade on the other, but this is very close to what he talked about, and so is this. Like I said, this one might be a touch larger. I can't remember the exact specifications he had for a fixed blade knife, but these two are very close. My axe, on the other hand, is quite the variance away from what he talked about. The Nessmuk axe was supposed to be a little bit longer. I believe the 18, no, I'd have to look it back up again, but I believe it was either 14 or 18 inch handle. This is 14 inches overall, and he had two edges on his instead of the hammer pole on the end. He actually wanted one ground for splitting, I believe it was, and one for chopping or something of that nature. Two different edge grinds so he could do two different chores. That I don't really have a need for. This, if I'm going to know I'm going to be out in the woods for an extremely long time, I'll bring another axe to split and chop wood with. This is more of get me through a couple nights. And it does that well. This is an East Wing. I don't know if you can see it there. This is an East Wing 24A. Handmade in the US. These are made in the USA. It's all metal through handle with stacked leather rings for grip on your handle. It's riveted very, very well on the bottom. You just cannot tear these up. This is actually the second one I've owned. It looks rather new because it is rather new. I bought this a few months ago because my old one that I had was actually lost while out trapping. It fell out of the pack, and I have no clue where it went. Maybe next year on the line I'll find it, but this year I could not locate it, so I had to go out. I actually bought this at Sears, and had to pick up a new one. It's just as good as the older one that I had. They're basically indestructible as long as you don't lose them. They're indestructible. And the retail price on these usually isn't too bad. I believe brand new it was like $30, and that's not bad for a really nice axe. That's the only thing you have to do these is out of the box, out of the store, you do have to clean up the edge, and I have, and I keep mine sharp, maybe not as sharp as these two. These two will do any chore, skinning, finessing. This is maybe a little bit duller. I don't spend as much time on the ultra fine stone with this. It just gets usually just the coarse and medium settings, and that puts a really good edge, I think, for doing all kinds of camp work. And the reason I would not use a double bit axe is, especially while I'm using this for trapping, I need that hammer. I hammer a lot of stakes, knock things out of the way, break ice even with this, and that hammer side is what does all that, and it does it well. If you had a double bit axe, you really have to use the middle to hammer your stakes in this kind of fashion, downward, hit like with it flat, and I don't like that. It's not as comfortable to me. But with the hammer end, I really think you can drive a lot of stuff better. It drives stakes and everything way better. So that's why I go with the single bit axe. And the all metal construction is another diversion from the Nessmuk style. He had just a metal cast iron, I guess it was, head, and a wooden pole handle. And I don't know if they even had full metal construction when Nessmuk was doing most of his outdoor treks. But I personally like these better than the wooden handles because I never have to worry about replacing a handle. I know they're not going to crack and break. These East Wings can take insane amount of abuse. I know I've put the old one through it. This new one is the same exact thing, so it's going to hold up. But you can put these through immense amounts of abuse, and they just keep coming. There really isn't anything that these can't handle. And shy of I'm in the room with a nuclear bomb, these things are great. And they are just good. All around good axe to have in the woods with you. I would recommend these to pretty much any axe that I've ever touched. I know a lot of people are going to give me thought static about Wetterlings or Gransford Brooks, some of these. And I mean, if you have $200 to spend on an axe or $100, you know, and you like the wooden handle, those are definitely the way to go. I think for $30, these are way better price option. And to me are way more useful on the trap line because I don't have to worry about cracking a handle when I'm trying to break through, 6-8 inches of ice. I can cut it up, I can hammer through it if I want to, save my edge. Maybe I got a lot of chopping chores that day, I can bust through it. But this is my derived Nessmuk trio. I just wanted to kind of put that out there for everybody to see. I kind of explain why they're there, and to kind of get at these are the type of tools I take with me everywhere, and these would work great for everything from camping, trapping, hunting, and these are the 3 tools that you really want to keep with you, especially if you get lost in the woods, because these 3 pretty much make sure that you can make it through a night. If you have some way of basically starting a fire, getting a fire going, and something to keep you hydrated with, to boil water in, pot, pan, bottle, stainless steel bottle, you can survive for a few days, like with just these tools and fire in a container, and you won't be as comfortable as you might like, but you will definitely survive. And these 3 are the tools I carry in my pack all the time, regardless of what I'm doing. Shy of, like I said, maybe a family day hike that's less than a mile or 2 long, I may not bring the 2 big ones, but I always keep a knife in my pocket when I'm in the woods, because you never know what you might need. So these are my Nessmuk trio. I just kind of wanted to put that out there, let everybody see it, and let me know what you think.